The first thing you want to do is get rid of the top section so you're not having to let a whole bunch of hair up and down each time. Makes it a little bit easier and stops the hair knotting up. I'm actually using a Japanese chopstick to do the separating. It's got a really fine tip, and I'm using a butterfly clip just to keep the hair up out of the way. You can use a separating comb like the hairdressers have. If you're really desperate, you can use a knitting needle, anything that just makes a nice sharp line. We're going to start from the bottom of the head, and we're going to move up in about 1 to 2 centimeters all the way to the top of the head. We're going to comb each section 3 times in 3 slightly different ways. So over here I'm using just some organic conditioner. You can use any conditioner you want. It doesn't really matter because it's just going to be put on and then combed off. Just a small bit towards the top, and you can work it down with your fingers. Then using the lice comb, the first way you do it is to place the comb in, stand it up straight and run it down. What we want to see here is the conditioner getting all the way to the top of the comb. What we're not doing is putting it in and taking it straight down like this. So put it in, stand it up, and kind of tilt the comb towards you. What this does is when you're doing it like this, there isn't much of a resistance, but when you put it in and have it up against the top of the comb, it really has the effect of pulling the eggs off the hair shaft. Now this first way of combing is actually the least effective, because when you're putting the comb in and standing it up, it's actually not making contact with the hair shaft until a couple of centimeters down, and the eggs are laid 2 to 5 millimeters from the scalp. So the second way we comb it is we turn the comb parallel, keeping it flat to the scalp and moving along the contour of the head. So we're not putting the comb in and drawing it out towards us. What we want is the root of every hair to pass right through the top of the comb. And you move along 1 centimeter at a time. So we started here, then go here, then here, and all the way along. And the key is to keep the comb flat against the head and along the contour of the scalp. When you've done that, as you're going, you can wipe on paper towel. When you're wiping, you want to keep the comb sort of in an upright position so the conditioner slides off. You don't want to be putting the conditioner flat down and have it all go back in. And then you can run it across and see what you've got. The third way you do is you simply get the teeth of the comb and give it a gentle scratch on the scalp, just a bit like that. What you're doing that for is when the eggs hatch, little baby nymphs are born, the little baby lice are very small, and they feed on your blood, on your scalp. And because they're so small, sometimes they feel like they're stuck to the scalp. Just by giving it a little scratch, you dislodge it from the scalp. And then as you go back and do this parallel motion again, you can pick up any of the feeding lice you may have missed. If at any time you feel like you don't have enough conditioner coming out on the comb, you can add a little bit more, or you can just spray it with a bit of water, because the biggest ingredient in conditioner is water, and that just rehydrates it. When you're satisfied that there's nothing coming off the head after you've looked, you can move on to the next row. If you're still finding eggs, lice after doing that, you do that row again. So you do exactly as you did before, going up about 1 centimeter at a time. It's really important to try and get a really nice, clean part. Just makes it easier to comb. You don't want any bits of hair hanging down or the part to be jagged, because as you run the comb along, you'll hook those bits of hair as you go. So you want a nice clean line. So once again, get some of the conditioner and you just basically do that process over the whole hair. If the process is taking a little long, what you might find is that conditioner is drying out. So instead of piling more on, just add a little bit of water and you'll find that the comb will slide through really easily. So as we're going up to the top, we've turned it into more of a box, just because of the way the shape of the head is. So as you do a straight line back, you then can go a straight line across and get it looking a nice even box. And we're going to treat each part exactly the way that we've been treating the parts from the bottom. So we'll go down, across, scratch and across. I always find it's really good to get rid of the corners so we don't have the comb accidentally jagging some of the corners on the way. At this point, you are using maybe about 3 pumps of conditioner, just because you've got 3 different sections there.